Okay, I remembered what I wanted to talk about. Um, so this I'm going to make as an introductory video to a new series on my channel, which will be exploring. Okay, so there are times when I will refer to this as my game. Most of the time right now, because it is in a game phase. That's just where it is. I've likened before this project I'm working on to like having a child. And one of the things that happens when you have a child is you want what's best for them, you know? And you want to see them develop into the best version of themselves. So, right now, my project really loves being a game. But it will not always just be a game. It will expand into other things. And this is an example of it expanding into another thing. Or I suppose another way of looking at it is this is another. I think the best way to put it is I'm solving the puzzle. you know, I'm solving the puzzle, and it's a lot of fun. Honestly, I've always adored puzzles, and I'll tell you a story. How about that? That'll be a good way to introduce this. I'll tell you a story about my childhood. My mom, when I was very little, when I was 3, 4 years old, um, used to do Sudoku puzzles. And one night I took her Sudoku book and I flipped through the pages and I just looked at each puzzle and what it looked like. And by the end, you had puzzles where it was like 3 numbers on the page. Once you got to the expert level puzzles, you would have, in a, I mean, there's what, 9, there's 81 squares in Sudoku game. So, I mean, if only 3 squares have numbers, like, I looked at those and I thought, wow, that's impossible. Or it's very easy. Like, one of the things I think about, like, I don't do Sudoku puzzles. I don't even attempt them because I am not. Sometimes they feel unsolvable to me. And I think they might be. I think it might be people just randomly putting numbers in there, and maybe you can do it and maybe you can't. Um, I don't. That's actually a curiosity I have. If anybody knows, um, are all Sudoku puzzles solvable? That's a question. Um, Probably not, but who cares? Who cares? The point of the story is I ended up just looking in the back of the book for answers. And I flipped to an expert puzzle, and I looked at the back page, and I found the puzzle, and I just filled in the fucking answers. And I showed my mom. I was like, look, I did the expert puzzle. She's like, oh, you're so smart. But I cheated. You know what I mean? And I think about that now because um, that's the right thing to do if you're trying to solve a problem. If you have a problem and you don't know how to solve it, um, you should get help if it's there, you know. Um, but that doesn't mean I'm not good at solving puzzles. Just means um, don't have to. I do it out of the enjoyment. And that's what this whole project has been pleasure and a lot of work, but it has been pleasurable work. So what this series will be about, this is the introduction video. I think I'm going to call this series, what time is it? Okay. The reason I'm thinking about the topic of puzzles is because that is actually the, it's going to be what at least part of this series is dedicated to, is solving a puzzle. And it's fun because it's a puzzle I created for myself. And I don't remember the answers. So that's actually something I did at the time. I could have been very detailed. I could have put an answer key in, and I didn't. That's what I did with a lot of this project. And I'm at the point where I'm at 4 million lines of code. And I haven't made any money yet. And I mean, that's because, and this is going to be actually a dual video. So, I'm recording this on Christmas. And I've decided that today I will share my YouTube videos on Facebook because I'm, like, ready, you know. So yeah, Merry Christmas. This is, that's the sidelining thought. Yeah, I've been doing this all day, every day for 2 years. And I just took a 3-week vacation, you know. This computer does a thing, and I didn't take a picture of it. I don't think I've ever taken a picture of it, and I thought about it. I thought about documenting it, but I didn't. And I don't regret it because it would be a pain. Like, I'm lazy, and I don't even want to go through the trouble of editing a picture into this video, you know what I mean? Like, I just want to upload it and be done. That's what that's it. I just want to get it done and forget. So this aspect of the project that will be explored in this series. Oh, I remember the thought I was going to say. I was going to say on Christmas, this is my Christmas present to everybody. You know, like, if you're seeing this video, Merry Christmas, and this is for you. So, anyways, this series, let's talk about it. So, I have designed a clock, and I already started it, actually, and then my computer shut down, which shut down the clocks because I don't have them operating on an independent server. One of the many goals I have is to make the program I'm running permanent, So where I planned on the clocks starting this year, they're actually going to have to start next year. They're going to have to start on the next new year, because that's what a new year is. It's when the clock starts, right? So as soon as I hit go on the clock, the new year began. And I am a narcissist. So for my own ego, I started the clock at my birth time on my birthday. But I'm not dedicated to that, and I don't think that's when I will start it on the next one. I think the new year I'm going to replan, because I've reconfigured the calendar. They were separate initially because even though a calendar and time are like, a calendar is based on time, right? So the calendar is based on the clock, it's derived from the clock, but they are independent entities of each other. So as I developed the calendar, I was simultaneously doing the clock, and I have made advancements in the calendar that now impact my decision on what I do with the clock. Mainly removing the narcissism from it. Which is a good thing, you know. Merry Christmas. This clock is for everybody, not just me anymore. This whole thing is for everybody now. And so what I planned on making this video about the clock, right? So the thing with the clock is, if the clock we use has 3 hands for seconds, well, actually, no, I don't need to get up because I can just think about it. So our modern clock has 3 hands, right? It has a second hand, a minute hand, and an hour hand. My clock would have 16, and most of them you would never see move in your life. You'll be lucky to see a couple. I think I'd have to check the math. I think you'd be lucky to see 9 or 10 move. Maybe more. It could be more or less than that, but 9 or 10 is a safe guess. I'll find out for sure when I do the next video in this series, which will be demonstrating the clock system and the calendar system. A basic breakdown of it I will share is it is directly applicable to the real world right now. You can absolutely live by it if you wanted to. I don't. I mean, I have fun playing with it mentally, like, but I don't have a 16-handed clock in my house yet, which is another goal, right? I want to have a permanent server for my clock. I want to start each hand of it simultaneously so that they're in sync, and I don't have, like, I need to automate that. I need to just press a button and they all start at the same time. Although having separate functions for each hand, I have a separate Python program for each of the hands of the clock, and it doesn't actually, like, it's not like a ticker like that. It's like, it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 at the pace of a tick. And that will at some point become directly applicable to the game, right? So there's a little triangle for you. You have a calendar, you have a clock, right? You could even think of clock on top, right? Because time is what each of them are derived from. So you have the clock, you have the calendar, and you have the game. And there are elements of the game that are going to require timed events, and it'll be based off of this clock's time, which is the same as our clock's time, right? A second in game. Like, there's still a second passing in a second's time, but it's not being measured in seconds, it's being measured in a different unit, namely half seconds. And rather than minutes, it's measured in eighth minutes. And rather than well, there's actually a new unit added between minute and hour, which is 32 eighth minutes. And anyways, I can go through the math again later. I'll explore in this series the math of the clocks and delve deeper into their role in the game. I'm going to return from my vacation today and get back to work. And right now, work does not mean coding the game. Like, that's out of the question. I am too afraid of making a mistake, genuinely. And it's also, well, I shouldn't be making excuses, but also my goal right now isn't perfecting the product. My role right now is advertising it and making money from it. Like, this is my job at this point. And I will not make money coding this game right now. It's not going to make money. But I can still make money participating in the game. It all makes sense as you start to explore my channel. So what I'll be doing today is I will not just be sharing this video on Facebook, but I will share the other ones as well. And then hopefully I can start making some money, and that'd be nice. I don't think there's much else I have to say. That pretty much wraps it up. 18 minutes isn't bad. Yeah, so this series, let's just wrap it up with a 2-minute summary of the series. I want to keep this under 20 minutes. So this series will cover the details of the clock system. It will cover the it will inform you on the details of the calendar system, which I actually, part of what enables me to make this video is I just figured it out today. I actually hadn't had it completed. I knew how many months there were, and I knew there's 16 months, 4 days in a week, 4 weeks in a month. I'll go into all the math with that. I'll go into all the math with the calendar system. I will introduce you to my own zodiac system. I will introduce you to I will work with you guys. I want to build a community around this, and I want it to not be all from my brain anymore. You know, I've contributed a lot of myself already, and it needs to be more than just me. So, month names. We need 16 month names. How about that? What do you think you would want your month to be called?